So let's continue with alter. What else we can do on altering the table? Okay, I want to create one new column for our table. What I am created that is a new column I want to add to my employee table with data type date and time. Executing it. Okay, so when we are adding, you cannot keep it as not null. Okay, if the data is already there, if data is already there, okay, and you are adding a new column with not null, so when you create like this, what is the value you will have for your already existing records, right? That will be a problem. So those cases it won't allow you. So for example, do we have the records already? Let's see. Select star from employee. We have some data, right? Okay, I already executed it once. Let me drop. I am just dropping my column. The same column I am dropping it. Okay. So now let's just check. Select star from employee. Now I dropped. We have one record. Okay. Now let's try adding created at with not null and see what happens. Not null. Then what is that? Data is coming for existing records. Okay, existing records are getting some default value because this is a not value, not null, right? So instead of this, I'm just dropping this column again. Drop column, that is the SQL syntax to drop any column. So I'm just adding it here. Now I'm just adding it again with different data type and see what happens. Char of 10. I think it's adding some kind of default value. Yeah, it's an empty string. It is not null, it is empty string. I think this is something based on the server settings. Okay, so some servers will not allow you because what is that record you will have for your previous existing records. Okay, but some servers are allowing. So here MySQL is keeping some default value. For string it is keeping empty string, nothing is there. For date time it is keeping all zeros. So this is how we add a new column, this is how we drop a new column. If you want to change the data type, okay, let's say this by mistake we created it as integer. Okay, so now we want to change the data type, right? So using modify column we can change that. Created at, you change it to date time. So using this we actually incorrect date time value 0 at row 1. Incorrect date time value 0 for column at row 1. What happened? We have 0. Okay, let's change this to char and see if it works. Yes, now it worked. You remember in Flash in Python, right? We have seen when you are trying to convert 10 into string, it will convert. It will just add codes, right? But when you try to convert a as integer, it won't work, right? Similarly here. The existing value already having 0 and you are trying to convert it to a date time, so it is not able to convert. But when we trying to convert it to char, that means string, it worked because 0 can be converted to string. So that was the reason. But using this we can modify the data type of a column. That's about altering the table. Now let's talk about foreign key. Let me open Excel sheet. Now what are the columns we have in the employee table? Employee table, we have employee ID, then first name, middle name and last name, right? Location, first name, middle name, last name and location. So now let's add some data here, some dummy data, 1 2 3. Now let's say A B C, I'm not giving anything, D E F. So something we are giving Bangalore, Hyderabad and Chennai. So this is the data we have. Now let's assume we have the salary table. Okay, the salary table, we still have this column, and what else we have in the salary? Competency, let's say salary competency created it. Yeah, cancel. I'm just keeping 1 2. I'm just keeping some data, 30,000, 30,000, C1, C2, C3. Last one doesn't matter. Now if I keep something like this, does it really make sense now? First one is about the employee details. Okay, we have 3 employees, their names, their location. Second table is having salary details. Okay, it makes sense for these 3 records because there is one employee with employee 1, he is in Bangalore, his salary is 10,000. There is employee with 2, his salary is 20,000 in Hyderabad. 3 30 Chennai. If you look at this record, it doesn't really make any sense, right? There is no employee with a 4 here. If there is no employee itself, how can you keep some salary, right? This is where you see a real link, real relationship between two tables. That is why it is called rdbms, relational database. There is some kind of relationship between these two. Only if the guy is here, you can have a record here. If there is no employee here, you can't have some salary for that employee, right? That relationship is called primary key and foreign key relationship. Okay, so here it should be a unique ID. That is what primary key we already defined. Okay, now you are having same column in different table and it has dependency with your primary key, right? This key, if this record is here, then only you can have a record here. Okay, it need not to be only one, you can have multiple also. Okay, 1 2 3. Let's say what first guy is promoted. Okay, then there will be one more record with a different competency, C2. Okay, then his salary is changed. Okay, something like that. So foreign key can have multiple entries. It need not be only one. But primary key should always have only one unique value. Now you can see the clear link between here, primary key and foreign key. Okay, if you try to insert now with 4 into this table, it won't allow, because you have enabled the primary key and foreign key relationship and 4 is not there in this table. That is what the advantage with foreign key. Now let's see practically how it works. So now we are creating our salary table. Let's drop this table first. I'm dropping. Okay, it's already dropped. It's not there. No database selected. Let's select the database. Then I'm dropping salary. Yeah, it's already dropped. It's not there. Now I am creating my salary table with employee ID, not null, salary, competency created at. How can you create a foreign key? Okay, you have to use foreign key. This is the standard word. Then what is the column in this table? You are using a foreign key. I am using this one. Okay, then that foreign key is referring to which primary key? That we are referring to table. First one is table, employee table, and inside the brackets what is the column? That is what we are doing here. Foreign key, column name of this table. Column name can be different, it need not to be same. Okay, you can just keep ID, even that will work. References, which table, and from that table what is that column. So if you create like this, we are creating a foreign key and primary key relationship. Now let's create. Okay, I created the table. Now how many records we have in our employee table? Let's check. We have one with employee ID 1. Okay, now in the salary table, let's try adding one record with this one. So I have to remove this, then I remove this, even that is there, it will work. I am giving employee ID, salary, competency. I am not giving created at, because it is having a default. See, for any column we can specify some default values. Okay, so for this column I am keeping a default value, that is current timestamps. Okay, so your SQL server will understand current timestamp means what is your current time when you are inserting this record. So by default create at is going to get the current timestamp when we are inserting any record here. Now let's insert unknown column employee ID. Yeah, because we changed it to ID, no? So let me change it to ID. Yes, the record is added. Let's check the data. Select star from salary. You see, 1 your salary, then C2, and then created at 8:36:16 the same time. Now if you try to add with 2, the employee 2 is not there, right, in our employee table. You see we got the error now, cannot add or update a child row. So you don't have your parent one, that is from your employee table. So I can't really add this value with employee ID 2. But if you create another one here, okay, so boss and execute this, you are going to get 2 records now, right? select star from employee. Now we have record with 2. Okay, so if you now try to add the same record, where is that, this one, it will be inserted because now we have a primary key 2. That's the advantage of foreign key.